Today for New Music Monday, we're going to check out the brand new release from Eminem, and it's called the Marshall Mathers LP 2. This is his first album of new music in about 3 years, and it's obviously been positioned as the follow-up to his 2000 album that most people will agree is his best album to date. Now, unlike a number of his other records, this album has no skit to open the album, instead dropping right into the somewhat awkward notes that are the song Bad Guy. For so many reasons, to me, this song was a terrible pick to be the lead track on the album. It's got some odd musical notes and shifts in it, and Eminem takes a very long time before he really hits that rhythmic pocket. You do need to pay special attention to the lyrics on this one, as he eventually goes to that very dark place that he likes to go to, and this one has a number of very clear nods to his other song, Stan. But really, this song would have been great if it was somewhere in the middle of the record. It is a terrible opening song. That being said, after a brief skit, you hit the song Rhyme or Reason, and that's when this album really takes off, as he loops in the classic zombie song Time of the Season, and you're met with one of the most addictive hooks in a long time. Also, Eminem is clearly in the zone lyrically here from the very start, as he flips and flows brilliantly at every turn. And honestly, if you don't get into this track, something's wrong with you. But I think it's safe to say that this song combined with the next one, So Much Better, is really the core of what this album is all about. The backing music is solid, and lyrically, this is really a throwback to his early years. And unlike many other artists who try and relive their glory days, Eminem really only touches lightly on it here, and it works really well. The piano on this track is simple, but knocks really hard and demands to be played at the loudest volume possible. Once you hear these two songs, it's really gonna highlight how awkward and out of place the opening track is, as in every sense it's just not up to par. Now, I mentioned some strong connections to the song Stan, and that continues with the song here called Legacy, as you can't ignore just how similar the vocal line at the top is to that song. And the lyric here is outright brutal and gets into that uncomfortable place that makes us love Eminem even more. He brings us another killer take on the awkward, outcast youth, and this is one of those tracks that'll really get to your heart if you give it an honest listen. To me, this song is a clear sign that Eminem remembered what made him great in the first place, and he's making a great effort to get back to that style. When you combine the words here with the lyrics to his song Asshole, it becomes very obvious that he's settling pretty much everything in his life with this album, and he does it with a seemingly endless array of very smart rhymes. Now, I'm not going to ignore the singles here, but I just can't get into the song Berzerk at all. In my opinion, Eminem and Rick Rubin were just trying way too hard on this song. It sounds so forced and so overdone that for me, it's just boring. And I'll mark this one up as another showing of just how lost Rick Rubin has become over the last half decade. Now, with the most recent single he's put out, Rap God, I'm sorry, you can hate on Eminem as much as you want, but this performance is outright dazzling, as the rhyme doesn't stop for a second and it's solid on every single line. Now, the second half of this record certainly has its flaws as well, as Stronger Than I Was slows things down to a very dull pace, and the hook on So Far is outright tedious. Also, I was really let down on the Rihanna collaboration on the song The Monster, as I was really hoping that they do something more with this track. Again, the hook gets old quick, and with these two talents, they could have done so much more with this song. But much like the early part of the record, the end of this record is surprisingly strong, as Love Game and Headlights are without question two of the best songs on the album. The former has a really fresh feeling to it. It's like nothing Eminem has ever done, and it works really well. But with the track Headlights, Eminem manages to bury what is without question his longest and biggest hatchet of his entire career. This one absolutely rips your heart out, and I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be putting the song Cleaning Out the Closet away for a very long time, as after you hear this song, you won't be able to hear that one the same again. Overall, the Marshall Mathers LP Part 2 is a very fitting companion to the album from 15 years ago, and they work really well as bookends to one another. And while there are flaws on this one and a few tracks that are definitely skippable, this album is absolutely a return to form for Eminem. And on the Buy It or Borrow It, the Marshall Mathers LP Part 2 is a 100% buy it. So that's what I got for you guys this week. I hope you dug it. If you did, go ahead and click subscribe, leave a comment, click like, whatever you want to do. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook right here, and I'll see you guys again next time.